What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. Stay tuned and subscribe to the podcast, because this Wednesday, hopefully, will be the first guest episode. What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things car culture, car news, racing games, motorsports, etc. Now, I will attempt to actually have had an intro to there. I mean, I'll see what I can do for the actual, like, the gaming segment, Motorsports Monday, the segment filmed exclusively on a Sunday, Saturday, uploaded on a Sunday. And I'll see what I can do for those segments. But for now, I will see what I can do for the actual intro to the podcast. If I did something, you would have just seen it. So, but yeah, I was wrong last week. I said that we were on...
You said third, didn't you?
Yeah, I said the third episode of the Stick Drift Podcast. We're on the fourth episode of the Stick Drift Podcast. Going for 4 weeks already. We're closing in on 300 subscribers. We're at 288. So, of course, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the videos channel of the podcast so you can get all of the video updates throughout the week as well. All of that is in the description. I mean, to be fair, I never actually do this because, I mean, I guess I just assume, but I'm Sid, joined with Josh.
the real SidWaj, by the way.
Exactly, the real SidWaj. But yes, today in the world of cars and racing and motorsports and whatnot, to be fair, this is also, I guess, technically the Halloween episode. Ooh, it's the closest one to Halloween. It doesn't really mean we're doing anything special. It's just gonna be an episode. But yes, the news for cars this week, of course.
There's a fair amount this week.
Yeah, there is. There's, of course, all of the SUVs. There was a Lotus SUV, a Skoda SUV, Toyota fumbling EVs. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I was like, does Toyota do EVs? They do the Prius, right? Is there an EV version of that, or is that just hybrid? Because I know they do the Prius, but I swear
Prius is hybrid.
Yeah, it's hybrid. But apparently they're re-evaluating their EV strategy, which at the moment the strategy seems to have been nothing. So
I assume they were holding out on the hopes that something else would present itself.
Yeah,
but it never did.
Yeah, there was a Ram spotted. The Toyota Crown. Speaking of Toyota, Tesla. Thinking of doing a hatchback, and I thought to myself, didn't they have? I swear, like Jake Paul owned it. A hatchback?
What?
Did they not do a hatchback already?
No.
Tesla hatchback, or is it like a?
They've got the S, the 3, the X, and the Y.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking of. Actually, it is this thing right here. This one, I think. Maybe not. No, maybe not. Okay, no, well, is it like an SUV, but smaller?
Yeah, it's the X, I'm pretty sure. It's massive.
Yeah, okay.
The SUV is smaller. The X is massive.
An American-sized hatchback, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is, what Toyota is going to be, not Toyota, Tesla re-evaluating their EV strategy. I actually put, for the Ram that was spotted, I put in the news, the week's main topics, Goofy R Ram, because I'll get onto that one when I get onto it. The Aways U6 coming from China to the US.
Off the time.
No, yeah, it's just, but yeah, a Chinese vehicle being brought into the US. Jeep is doing a bunch of recalls. Volvo is having to scrap a massive fleet of self-driving cars that I guess they fumbled. I don't. Is it
really Volvo
know.
Or is it a third party that used Volvos?
Oh, maybe, but yeah, they're scrapping all of that. Of course, we'll get deeper into that throughout the podcast. By the way, leave a like and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, the Ioniq 6, Audi jumping into the world of F1. You had a prediction, and your prediction was that they were gonna buy. They were
Not
going to buy the
happen.
Latifi team, I believe was your prediction.
Yeah, let's see if he's in.
And they didn't end
Because
up
it
doing
was
that.
rumored they were gonna. Well, I think it was even rumors, like confirmed they were gonna try and get 50% of Red Bull,
Yeah.
and then Red Bull decided, nah, not now they're actually good, not bothered.
Mm.
Then it was rumored that they were gonna buy either Sauber, and then recently Williams rumors spawned.
Yeah.
It turned out no, the Williams one's not true. Williams is just gonna be a bottom team forever now.
Yeah.
But they brought Sauber, well, buying Sauber.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Alfa Romeo Sauber this year. Not sure when next. But I think next year it's going to be until 2026, I think, or 25. It's going to just be Sauber.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be Audi Sauber. Unless Audi buy all of Sauber, then it'll just be Audi.
Wait, so what actually happened? I mean, surely there's other F1 teams that are like co-owned, I assume. I can't imagine all of them are just one company hacking away at it.
Brain's falling apart right now, but yeah. AlphaTauri is a Red Bull team. AlphaTauri literally translates to Red Bull, I think. No.
Well, you've said it now.
It does now. It does now. Right? And then what have you got? Yeah, but I think most of them are just owned teams. To be fair, you got Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams.
And in the world of F1 as well, recently there was the thing that I read. I believe it was in Motorsports News. I don't know where it was, but Red Bull got fined. Was it 7 million?
Yeah,
7
Red Bull can afford it. They overspent because the
yeah.
budget cap's 140 mil,
Yeah.
and they overspent by 1.8 on catering.
Yeah.
That was a big scandal because it's something like every 100 and Mercedes said this, her biggest grand is still known to mankind, but like 100 grand is 1/10 of a second in car pace. So they were quite unhappy with that. This is for 2021, the overspend, because it's done a year.
Well, I assume that's like
after.
an estimate. That wouldn't really be an exact.
Yeah, so everyone wasn't very happy with them.
Yeah.
So they were fined. The fine is the Red Bull can take the fine.
Yeah.
It's the reduction in wind tunnel time. It's 10% reduction over a year based on the wind tunnel time they'll get given at the end of this season. So 70% because they get given. Because there's an allotted time anyway, and based where you finish, you get more or less. So Williams get more than Red Bull because Williams are, bad. But Williams will get 70% normally, and there'll be 10% taken away from the 70. So they'll have not a lot of wind tunnel time
Well, is
for
it that like is it a
season.
new car every year? Because surely it can't be that crucial if
It's
the car's
not,
exactly
'cause
the same.
No, the reason teams like what's it called, Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari are so good at the minute is because before the cost cap, the regulations for this year currently were announced in 2020. So teams were like W keying research before the cost cap, and obviously the teams with the most money, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, obviously got a massive head start because they can afford to just dump money into research. But the car's already researched, so Red Bull aren't going to magically become a bottom 5 team now.
Yeah.
They will always be a top 3 team in this, with this current set of regulations, probably. This reduction in wind tunnel time is kind of pointless. Because they already have a car that Max can drive really, really well. And if Ferrari can get reliability under control, maybe they'll have a fight next season. But Mercedes will need a massive jump to get up to where those are, because their engine's slightly underpowered as well.
I mean, the thing is, though, right? Like 7 mil, I feel like is enough of a number that you wouldn't have that you wouldn't have the speeding ticket effect, where rich people will just speed.
Mercedes has said they're willing to overspend.
Yeah, like that's just okay. Well, yeah,
just like, we can afford that.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? That it's towing on that line because 7 mil then just becomes the price of overspending.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we want to overspend.
Teams like Williams has have got a sponsor now, so they can actually probably spend it.
Yeah.
But like Williams in particular, they're never going to reach the cost cap unless they get a massive sponsor.
What if those Latifi hoodies really sell though? What if those Latifi hoodies
they're
sell?
right now for a reason. They can't sell.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just the cost cap was meant to make it more fair. And when there's essentially, oh, we can go over the cost cap and it just costs us 7 mil extra.
Yeah.
Sure. It's
like
kind of
you're screwed
pointless.
at that point because you need to be really over strict to really lock down.
Yeah. Well, people
anything.
wanted them to lose the 20 because Max won, driver in 2021.
Yeah.
They wanted that stripped away.
Yeah,
That would have been
some
way
things
too harsh.
about appeals. Yeah, something to do with appeals is what I read. That like someone was appealing something.
What's it called? Alpine were appealing a Haas argument.
Oh.
That's a completely separate issue. Haas were just not happy that Alpine got away with something. But yeah.
Yeah.
The punishment Red Bull were given was nothing. Mercedes will overspend next year. I reckon Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari will all overspend next year. It's just who could afford it. Like it's yeah. It's just a shame, unfortunately.
Oh well. Oh wait, okay. So I mean, we said earlier today that the week felt kind of short, but essentially because there wasn't many news things. Because normally, what we've had before is like there was the crew news right after the podcast, then there was the Paris Motor Show right after the podcast. So the whole week was kind of like building up to that with that one bit of news at the beginning, building up to it. But I think this was one of those bits of news. Was it on the last episode that the Fiesta was cancelled?
No, that was after.
Was it not? Okay, well, yeah. Well, bloody, there you go then, boys. The Ford Fiesta, after 46
it's been gone in the US for a while, but yeah.
Is finally being cancelled. But to get rid of it in the UK...
It's so odd. It's so odd to me. Like, was it doing that poorly in Europe?
Yeah.
Like, it's still a very popular new car.
Yeah, I saw one of these today. Like it's a car. It's a pretty good
so many of the
car.
they sell a load of the ST versions. Like
Yeah.
there's at least 2 in my village. Like I don't get why they're cancelling it. Are they really that unprofitable?
Like, yeah, because, like, is the UK that small of a market? Because I feel like...
UK is a tiny car market.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, that's all I can imagine it would be, is that, like, if they're not even selling in America...
like, mainland Europe.
Yeah, I guess so. But, like, cancelling the Fiesta... It really is an iconic car.
The Focus was quietly killed. They killed the normal Focus.
I didn't even know the Focus was killed. They're not making the Focus
anymore? And they turned it into like a special hybrid thing that you basically can't get anymore.
Wait, do they have a hatchback?
They're not going to. They're going to have a hybrid Focus, but it's impossible to get one.
Yeah, so Ford's
they've basically blacklisted it from existing. But
yeah. So what, they just don't have a proper accessible hatchback anymore?
No, I reckon they're going to move the Puma into the place where the Fiesta was.
Yeah. Oh,
which is unfortunate.
I mean, what cars are like just starting uni student loan students gonna drive
MG3s,
in like
everyone had
20
that.
years?
You didn't go to sixth form, but sixth form, the MG3 was, I think it is still the cheapest brand new hatchback you can buy in the UK.
What is the MG3? Oh, what is the MG3?
It's just an MG3. It's just a cheap.
Oh, MG! I haven't seen any bloody MG.
Yeah, it's not MG as British MG. It's MG as, I think it's Chinese. I know.
Yeah. Oh, well, I assume it's an older version, but yeah. Huh.
I think it does still look like that, but yeah.
Oh, that's a monstrosity, is what that is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That kind of sucks. The Fiesta not being made anymore.
The Fiesta ST was a decent little car.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. EU regulations have killed it off, I reckon.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the ST version, there's no way they get 60 MP. Because as a fleet, all of your cars combined have to get 60 mpg.
Yeah.
For EU laws. The ST, no way they got 60. I can't see the base Fiesta not getting 60 mpg though.
I mean, also on
Ford must just not like the UK. I don't know.
Yeah, like on a separate thing is like because it's a hatchback. Surely it would be very high in the resale market. So maybe when they're having to import it from America, and then it's just all on resale all the time. Like
they're not made in America.
Are they not?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. I was gonna say because that I wouldn't be able to justify. If I was having to import them over, I'd kill off the Fiesta. But
They're making the Fiesta over there. They don't even sell it over there.
it's a very British car, though. The Fiesta will be missed. It's
It was best-selling car in the UK for like I think almost over a decade.
yeah, until the SUVs took over.
Yeah.
But
The Model 3 took it for a month, and then it just went to SUVs for some reason. Like the Model 3 just was like, yeah, nah, we're taking it. Just changed it up forever. It's gone now.
I mean, well, like the Fiesta was one of the. I mean, Top Gear would have mentioned the
Alfie's got a
Fiesta
Fiesta,
a lot.
so-
What's the what?
Alfie's got a Fiesta.
Oh yeah, Alfie's got a Fiesta. Like it's just like
It's just default. You want a cheap car, you get
Yeah.
a Fiesta or an Astra or not Astra, a Corsa,
Yeah.
Fiesta or a Civic.
exactly. Those were like the default.
Fiesta STs are
Buying
going to start
car.
going up in price now, especially
Yeah.
the last gen.
Hmm. I mean, yeah,
Vauxhall killed off the VXR Corsas, so there's no not like sporty Corsa anymore. Those shot up in value.
like wasn't the
Of course,
Fiesta the car they used in the like through shopping center like chase scene thing? Because I remember that's one Top Gear clip that I watched a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I think they use an older one, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the older ones. The older one
The
is
new
Drift.
Civic's not even a hatch, is it anymore? It's
Yeah.
basically the Accord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there was just no money in it.
I mean, well, so now like since
Why didn't
the,
they make the i20N? The i20N
Yeah.
is still a decently sporty hatch.
I mean, I guess speaking of hatches while we're here, the new Civic, which was a hatch, I want to say. The Civic used to
I
be a
sent you
hatch.
an image of the Accord, right? It's literally a newer Accord Type R.
Yeah, like it's just like
It's insane. I don't get...
if you put the Civic like from the Egg Civic era, it's just sort of slowly morphed. Like if you had like year after
Yeah.
year,
It's a
goes,
stretch
like,
egg Civic.
like
it's...
yeah, it's just slowly morphed. I kind of like it, but then I don't.
It's not a Civic, though. It's an Accord.
like there's that,
it's-
and then it really
It's an Accord. It's the new Honda Accord. They
if there
just
was
renamed
no
it.
Civics before it, and they just brought it back and said, yes, this is... I closed the tab. They just said, yes, this is new Accord coming back anniversary edition. That is what it would like.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The Civic has been. It's like the same with the Focus. It's been like blacklisted from existing.
Like there's this kind of generation of Civic. There's the Egg Civics. Then it goes to like what the Type
Then,
R.
like after the Egg, it changed into the Accord. Like they.
it just became a different type of car. Like the Egg Civic compared
I mean,
to
I think they
this
finally
Civic,
killed.
like,
Yeah. When they
nothing like
released
the Egg
that,
Civic.
that's the same time they discontinued the Accord from Europe.
Yeah.
So I think they basically like. Is there no money in making hatchbacks anymore?
Like this one really is a perfect in between the old Civic and the new Civic. Like I would
Yeah.
say if I found there's also the like really old Civic. This one's out of the question here.
Yeah.
What happened to this thing? How did this thing go to the Egg Civic? Huh?
The bonnet being the way it is on the Egg Civic is because EU pedestrian laws, and I assume they styled the rest of the car so it doesn't look goofy.
Yeah.
But it still does. It still does.
Like it literally it goes this Civic, then morphs into this Civic,
Yeah.
and then like it gets a bit more jagged in like the one that's in the crew, the more jagged one, pinstripe, etc.
Yeah.
Then it becomes that, and then now it's that. It's been smoothed over. Like
It's just a shame, really.
yeah.
Like it's not the Civic.
I
It's
kind of
not.
like that looking at it now, but it's not the same car. Like it's
It's
just
not
it's
hatchback.
just not
like
the
it's
yeah.
It's just basically a sedan.
Like you'd think. Well, I was gonna be like, you'd think if you're bringing back a car with the same name, it would be like that car. Then the Eclipse comes to mind. So
The Eclipse is just a crime.
like what with the SUV Eclipse? Let me see that.
Well, I mean, Honda done it with the Integra. They brought back the Integra as it's basically the
Nice.
Accord. Basically, it's nice. Nice.
Uh,
But yeah, Honda brought back the. I forgotten the name of it now. I saw a clips on the screen. Now my brain's falling apart. Integra.
Yeah.
It's like front-wheel drive, two-door sports car, and turned into a four-door saloon. Nice.
And then Eclipse SUV. Oh no, is that it?
It's garbage.
Just,
There's a reason
just
Mitsubishi pulled out the UK.
SUV.
Yeah. Mitsubishi don't make good cars anymore.
Yeah, like what? That's supposed to be an Eclipse. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mitsubishi are borderline bankrupt anyway. They have to try and make something that will sell, and I assume they think that will sell.
That feels
There's no
vile,
money
though.
to be made in sports cars, really.
Yeah. To use
hatches,
the Eclipse name
evidently.
for that. I mean, yeah, apparently hatches as well. Like, but like, since the podcast has started, the graveyard so far, since the podcast has started, the TT, the R8, the F-Type, the Aventador, and now the Civic, it's actually shocking.
Civic still exists. Is just.
Or did I say the Civic? I mean the Fiesta. The Fiesta.
No,
I
the
guess.
Fiesta,
That's
yeah.
what I meant. But yeah, it's like, and you know what? At least the Civic had a natural transition. At least like it had this, then it had this but more jagged, then it sort of like grew out, and now has been smoothed over. This going from this
I'm amazed
to that,
they don't make an estate version of that Civic.
of this Civic, yeah.
Because, like, look how easy that would be
You
to
just have
make.
to stretch out the back.
You
Like,
just
what,
have to
literally
have a
just,
flat
take out
roof.
the- yeah.
And it's an estate. It's.
Like, it's just because the back goes into the rear bumper. If they just had it go down and then flat into the rear bumper, it's just it's just a sedan of some kind. It's you know what? I'm growing to it.
How much does it cost though? If it's more than 40 grand, it ain't worth
A
it.
terrible amount. In fact, I believe, was it this car that had its price? Okay, no, that was the Ioniq 6, but I think its price is somewhere. Ooh, how much did you say?
Where?
44 grand USD, to be fair. So 44 grand GBP.
That's pre-tax.
Yeah.
Plus, what is it?
Like what? 20%. So 8,800 extra. So
It'll be 50. It'll be 50. They'll round it up to 55 grand.
Yeah, 55 grand in pounds. Maybe, given the current economy, maybe 40 grand roughly. But yeah, 40 grand. If you
can get much better cars.
You could get a much better car. If you really want the name of a Civic, but at that point, it just isn't the history of a Civic. But if you want the name of a Civic and a car that has a spoiler and looks slightly sporty for 40 grand,
it's not worth 40 grand.
no, I'd get it on resale if I really wanted something like this.
You really want a Civic Type
If
R.
I really wanted a current Civic Type R. I mean, for the channel, a Civic would be very good. So
You gotta buy one of those.
I'll buy one of these as the channel Civic. I mean, we've talked about hatches so far. The 40th anniversary edition of the Golf GTI? Yeah, the VW Golf GTI. With this thing has been powering through. Nothing's touched this
Golf
thing so
still
far.
made that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Volkswagen.
say. God, yeah.
Golf.
But, like,
the Golf
yeah, what's it
around.
called? This thing still exists, I guess.
I've never seen, but like you don't see many of them around.
I mean, the 40th anniversary. What was the one of my teachers owned a Golf. The same teacher that lived in my village, so I knew that she owned a Golf. But what? How old was the Fiesta? Because if this was 40, how old?
Fiesta's old.
I think it was like 57. I want to say. I know I shed it, so I should know it. But it was
The
something.
Fiesta
along
was
those
really
lines.
old.
Yeah, but like only like a decade and a bit, 2 decades above the Golf. But the fact that Golf is still chugging along is kind of
VW
cool.
couldn't afford to make losses though.
Yeah.
Ford of Europe
Oh
with their
yeah, they
current
own
lineup.
so many other things. Like, I assume
But
it
you
was,
never see the
like,
GTI. Everyone either buys a
Yeah.
Golf R or a Passat. Like,
Yeah, I mean, what's the Volkswagen that's a Golf but a sedan?
Polo?
Like the one that's
Passat.
is that a
like this.
Passat?
Yeah. Then you got a Passat normal and then a Passat estate.
Passat. Like yeah, like that thing. Yeah, it's just the Golf, but like a car
four-door,
rather than a hatchback. Yeah. But to be fair, the fact that they've got this chugging around and are still doing the Golf, a 4-year anniversary would have been a brilliant time to be like, this is the last one, but, you know, they're still making it, so it must still sell
The Golf
somewhere.
are popular, so I'd assume.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that thing's staying, which is kind of wild. Wait, no. Oh my god, there's another hatchback! This is hatchbacks of the week this time. The Renault Zoe is ending as well.
Good. Look at it.
Yeah.
That's another update in 15 years by the looks of it.
The French firm will not be replacing its EV Super Mini for a new generation.
They'll replace it with, because they were looking at doing the Renault 4, weren't they? Or that was
I
the
assume that's
the small hatch. They'll replace this with that.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick between this and the Clio, like the more current Clio with the like the little thing coming underneath the headlights,
The Clio looks better.
Yeah, way better than the Zoe. You know what? The Zoe won't be missed.
The Zoe is one of the first electric cars, though. That's like, it gets kind of a pass. Yeah, it was so, they're like, I think they've been selling them for like 10, 15 years.
Oh. God,
like, it was one of the first fully electric.
Cars.
It was the Leaf and the Zoe were the first ones we got in the UK, basically.
Huh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's more of a show that, like, we're really at the, like, second cycle of this whole electric car thing. And maybe we'll actually get some things that are, like, I don't know, reasonable. Rather than just, like, Tesla doing their own thing and then the stuff like the Leaf. But, yeah, I mean, I probably won't mention it when mentioning the old car graveyard of the podcast, but, the Renault Zoe, it's cool that there's so much hatchback news this time around. There's it's a hatchback slaughter is what it is.
That car looks so front heavy.
Yeah. Hey, well, from hatchbacks to your favorite type of vehicle instead, SUVs of the week.
Can't wait.
The 2024 Jeep, more of a just a what we know so far, so it's like maybe we know something, but maybe it'll never arrive kind of thing. The 2024 BMW XM was previewed, 700 plus horsepower.
It's like a 700 horsepower in a moving house. Look at it.
Yeah, like that thing is, God, it's so. Well,
you actually wouldn't need a bulldozer to go for a building. You can just drive through it there. Like,
car companies can't decide if they want to go jagged or round. It's just sort of like.
I hate the front of that car.
It is like, what is it trying to? It's a battering ram, is what it is. Like
it actually is. Like, he's got the front of a bus. Like, why is it so big?
God, that thing is. Those are really pig snouts.
It's the fact that outlined as well.
Yeah. Oh God, that is
garbage. I don't like. Yeah, if you buy that, you deserve to get scammed. Honestly.
A couple of weeks ago, this isn't SUV, but we'll get back to SUVs. I know you're worried about it. Don't fret. We will get back to the SUVs.
Worried.
But obviously, a couple of weeks ago, we did talk about the Maserati being the final. Wait, was it the final? Oh no, it was just a new Maserati.
It was just a new.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm killing the Maserati. But the final Maserati. Fuck, call it final again.
Whoa. Maserati might actually kill off. You carry on.
Yeah. But the new Maserati has actually been spotted. Even though it's got, like, the hiding itself livery, but, like, they revealed images of it.
It looks dated already. Like, it's something about just a black felt convertible top that just dates a car to the mid-2000s.
It does feel a lot more dated than, especially than the renders made it look out to be.
Like that looks like it's been out for 5 years.
Yeah. It could be the Gran Turismo that released more than 5 years ago. Like, it's...
Yeah.
God, it really isn't a lot of innovation there.
No.
Along with that, there was a new, I believe, Range Rover. Oh, one of the bigger SUV newses of the week. News? News-eye? What's the plural? I don't know. But the Lotus SUV, which I didn't know existed. Is it new?
Fully electric. It's been out, I think it's on their website, but you can't buy it yet.
That's a Urus.
It's a lot smaller. It's a lot smaller than a Urus, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's like crossover size instead of full size SUV.
Which is what I prefer from an SUV.
That's a lot of body roll for a sports car.
But like, okay, why did it have to be the tiniest image of a Urus? God, the Urus is very egg-shaped from the back. It's like the Urus's cousin, is what it is. But
It's a lot cheaper than a Urus as well.
Yeah, God, like that thing's better. I would say it kind of looks cool for an SUV.
It's small. It's a lot smaller. It's probably about 25% bigger than an Astra, I'd say.
And it's full electric, which is kind of cool. It's not really. It doesn't really have that notability though, you know. I guess if you drive a Urus, you're a Urus driver. If you're driving this, you own an electric SUV.
I mean, this is priced sort of comparatively, is why.
What is the price?
74 for a full electric SUV is not awful.
74. Where are you getting 74 from, Joshua?
How much is yours, sir?
It says 120,000.
Is that from?
Costs from 120,000. 0 to 60, 2.95. 905 horsepower.
That has to be a top spec model.
Maybe introducing. This is the Lotus Elytra R. So
yeah.
That's
the base one is like 70 grand.
Okay, well this is the R version, which is 120.
This one looks better.
What is the?
I've just got to their website now.
Yeah.
It's not matte, so it looks infinitely better.
Oh, this is the one I believe you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Elytra. This one it says 89,000 on the one I'm looking at. Yeah.
It's a bit higher than I thought, but yeah, it's not awfully priced for a luxury brand performance SUV. Like, it's not awful.
It's not got a lot going on though. Like, it's obviously got the unique front
clean.
design. It's clean, yeah, I guess. I'm expecting too much from a Lotus
SUV. It's the best looking SUV. Like,
oh, has it got camera?
It's got camera mirrors,
yeah. Yeah, okay.
But that's what I mean. For the price, it has decent features.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, again, like it's got the unique front that all cars have.
Massive front brakes. Like, it looks like it would be sort of performance.
The sides, I think it doesn't have a lot going on. And I mean, that's like, I feel like it feels a bit too mundane. But, I mean, from the back, it really, it's threading that line to an SUV that stands out and an SUV that blends in with every other single SUV. But, I mean, it's definitely on the
base version, the one that's 80 grand, is dual motor 600 horsepower. So it's a performance car.
And yeah, for like a sporty SUV, it's just...
How much does it weigh, actually?
Probably a lot.
2 tons.
Yeah.
That'll be BMW in 4 years. So.
Yeah. I mean, I assume mileage decreases with weight similar to fuel than it does for electric, because more power to
weight
push.
and aerodynamics are the biggest factors.
Yeah. Oh, I guess aerodynamics.
And that thing will chew you through brakes at 2.2 tons.
Yeah. I mean, electric though, so it'll have that like the recharge thing or whatever they do. Like, oh my god, I broke, so now I can drive for 0.001 extra mile.
Yeah.
It's cool, to be fair.
It's more visually pleasing than like a Vauxhall Mocha or a Urus.
Yeah. Why is that Vauxhall named after like a coffee?
Oh, you got the Mocha and the Grandland X. I don't know why they
What's the coffee? Grandland X. Like, there's a bit of a...
Vauxhall doing what Vauxhall do best and make awful cars. Yeah. So.
But you know what? Not a disgusting car. It's got the sport version of it. I mean, what's really...
I would prefer the base version.
Different. Yeah, there's not really a point for going with the sport version. Looking at it. Like, it's just sort of...
The base one is a okay luxury car for the price. Like, luxury performance car for the price.
If you wanted a nice...
It's just waste of money.
It would be a nice SUV to have parked outside the house. If you had your own little, like,
the other newish Lotus, the Emira, whatever it's called, looks pretty decent as well. Like, Lotus on the comeback.
I mean, there's some Lotuses I despise.
First gen Elises and Elans are quite bad.
Some look disgusting. Like, even the Exige is pushing it for me. Oh,
Exige, the Elise, the Elan. Oh, yeah, the newer...
is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, having an Emira and this parked outside the house...
Like that's what I mean. You can buy Oddly, they haven't got a manual for the base version, which is very odd for a UK company. Usually, the manual is the base option, and then you get the DCT
I assume the
as
Amira's
the
not electric then.
top tier. The Amira is, the Avira isn't.
Oh, okay.
It basically looks the same, I'm pretty sure.
Can you have manual electric?
You can, but it's quite scuffed.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would. Oh, like yeah, it's a cool looking car, the Amira. The like a little race spec version there.
But you can get the
sick.
i4 with the DCT for I think it's 60 grand, 64 for a first one. But like for 64 grand, it's
What, the
probably a great
Amira,
car.
64 grand?
Lotus website will confirm this for me.
Because yeah, for 64 grand, that's absolutely chilling. I mean, yeah, again, if I wouldn't, if you needed two cars, one to be a practical sporty SUV, one to be like a flexing car, and you had that kind of money, if you had an Amira and a Elytra, like from Minecraft, parked outside your house, I wouldn't judge. Like, those are two cool cars
70
together.
grand. 70 grand it is.
okay.
But yeah, for 70 grand, like, it's...
Yeah. It's a good...
Considering the Porsche, like any Porsche costs like 4 million Great British pounds.
I feel like I'd rather this than the most default looking Porsche known to man. But like, yeah, okay, Lotus.
And British bias doesn't exist, but
yeah. Oh yeah, Lotus is British, aren't they? No, thank God they
owned
bloody.
by a Chinese company, I
Yeah,
think, but
but-
all still made in the UK.
Yeah. Jumping back to SUVs really quickly, the Skoda SUV looks like an SUV.
That's an ID4, I'm pretty sure.
ID4
What
is what?
Volkswagen.
Oh.
VW ID4. Yeah, that's an ID4 with a different body on it, which makes sense considering Volkswagen owns Skoda.
Oh, is that literally what it is?
It looks exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, right? I think Skoda doesn't have a terrible front design. I don't think they have
No. And
like-
Skoda is still one of the only manufacturers. They make the Octavia VRS still, and I'm amazed they still are allowed to do that.
They're kind of
considering EU laws.
out of the way now that I think about it. Like a Skoda, it doesn't come to mind. If you told me to,
They are very common. They are very, very
I mean, they're common, yeah. But if you told me like, quick, name 50 car brands, Skoda would be one of the last ones I name. Like, it's
Really?
not one that for me. They
They
are.
make the Fabia, the WRC car.
I'm looking at the Octavia right now.
The Octavia and the Fabia are the.
Yeah.
It's probably not pronounced like that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, terrible naming scheme to be fair. But this is the Skoda
Fabia.
Enyaq, I think.
That is a garbage name. One Enyaq, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it? Okay, no, it's not like EV or anything. It's just an SUV, I guess.
that's not EV. That has to be. It looks like an ID4.
VRS, Enyaq VRS, more practical SUV, dual motors with all-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's electric. It's an ID4.
Okay, well, 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. Ooh, whoa.
It's pretty slow considering.
Yeah.
It probably weighs like 5 metric tons.
I mean,
why,
it's a family car, right? Like, and I think it works for that. Again, like Skoda, I don't mind Skoda's design. It does what it needs to do. Like their front design. I'd rather this than the ID4, because if I was to have a car to go pick up kids from school.
It's the same way the Cupra. Cupra does it's on a reskinned ID3, which it's a better. Volkswagen's design is just so plain and like industrial looking, and then they just leave it to their sub brands to make a
word for this kind of SUV, because this
it's an SUV. It's just an SUV.
Kind of different to these kind of ones. The ones where it's way
it's more of
like,
a crossover.
Yeah.
But like it's more into the SUV side than a crossover.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they've taken an Octavia or a Fabia and put it onto a bigger like off-roadery style platform. They've just made it's an ID4, and the ID4 is an SUV.
I feel like the rims will look tacky soon. I mean, they're fine there.
Aero rims, they have to be like that. They have to be like that to get any extra MPG they can out of the aerodynamics.
Is that actually what it is?
Look at it, it's shaped like a brick.
Yeah, I guess. What is it to actually have more pushing power on the wheel?
It's range, basically. It probably gets an extra like 20 miles of range over full charge rather than aero wheels.
Style-wise, they look a bit tacky. Well, I think they will look a bit tacky. They kind of look all right there, but I assume they will eventually.
Kia with the EV6 made like a streamliner.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that.
Also, what is the front grille? Because I like now I know it's an EV.
It looks like it's
nice.
just diffused LEDs.
Yeah, do that rather than just the flat.
How much is this? 65, 70 grand?
I don't think it says actually. I assume it's a price if I had to guess. No, you can talk while I hunt down the price on this.
It just doesn't look like it's going to be cheap. If it has a diffused LED grille.
I mean, it's the kind of a car that you buy once and then run for the rest of your life, really.
It's an EV. No, you don't.
Oh well, I mean, like as a family life is what I mean.
Base model is 37,815 Great British pounds.
That's not bad. I want to say.
Base version.
Yeah. I mean, I assume the base comes with everything you need it to, right? Like, I'm not gonna put this around the racetrack. Like,
the VRS version I'm looking at there is £55,000.
That's like, I don't.
But surely you just stretch that a bit more to get the Lotus.
Oh like, no, yeah, true. Because
if you're financing that for 50, what is that, 55?
Yeah.
What's that, 70? You could finance 20 more.
It depends what kind of guy you are, I guess, really.
The Lotus looks a lot better.
Yeah, the Lotus definitely looks a lot better. But like, I could, you know what? The Skoda gets a pass there. As far as SUVs, I think this has been another harmless
big
one.
to be like. It's sure if it was a US or some EU country with 8 miles of free room for every car park, but that is way too big for an entry level EV.
I mean, I see a lot of cars like these though in the UK, especially. Right, like I see a lot of
It's like an SUV estate. Yeah, I look at it.
It's SUVs but longer, like very much bigger.
Yeah,
they've got more, so to speak, bunda on the back.
But why not just get an Octavia wagon?
Yeah, it's
which is cheaper, more practical. And you don't have to own that.
Oh, but speaking of bloody big cars, and this is the one that I put in the week's main topics as, and I quote, goofy R Ram, is this thing. What's your instant take?
If you need that, unironically, if you buy that and don't either work as like a tree transporter or you transport large materials, sell it immediately.
Why
like, what is the need?
It so long?
You need planning permission to put anything in the bed of the truck.
What? It's so long. Why? Like, what? I don't know what
number of RAM is it? Like, what RAM specifically?
It's EV. It's a prototype EV. 1,500 RAM 1,500 EV prototype out testing with the spy photo. God, you can see the shrubbery above. This really is a spy photo.
He's giving it to me in inches. Nice.
But it is so long. Like, what? And the rims
There's
are so
no
small.
need for a car like that to exist.
How are you? America has too much room than they know what to do with. How like, imagine owning that in the UK.
You do not need that much space.
No, like, it's goofy at that point. Is what it is. It's like, I couldn't. Why is it so long?
It has a 3.6 meter wheelbase. You can fit a Focus between the wheels.
Yeah, it's like, what?
You do not need a car that big. And if you say you do, you are lying to yourself.
Crossovers are crossovers between two types of cars, right? A hatchback, SUV, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That, to me, is a crossover between a pickup and a semi-truck. Yep. Is what that is. It's a semi-truck pickup crossover. Yeah.
Well, you don't have it. Your family doesn't own an estate. But, like, there's no way you need more room than you do in an estate.
Yeah.
Like, you can fit, like, a house in the back of a Passat estate.
Yeah.
What is the need?
Like, at this point, right?
Unless you are transporting large items daily,
you
do not need a vehicle that large.
Like, the thing is,
that will get absolutely awful range as an EV.
Yep.
That's going to weigh 3 tons plus.
I mean, has there been...
if you say for towing, you can tow with a Passat's got like a 2-ton towing capacity. You do not need a car like that to tow. Don't even lie to yourself.
But because the Cybertruck doesn't exist, right? Like
The F-150 Lightning exists.
Oh, okay. Is there already a electric pickup?
Pickup, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The F-150. I mean, of course. I mean, okay. You know what? The F-150 is kind of an iconic pickup, so it's cool that they got to it.
It's
first.
way too big. You don't
Is
need
it?
an
I haven't
F-150
seen it.
pickup.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, they've gone with the whole outrageously long design. It's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how's it selling? Because originally it was like, oh, well, people will be like, oh, darn.
It's not been
Putin.
cancelled yet, so I assume it's selling well enough.
Because if you're a pickup buyer, you'd think you'd be the old.
Guarantee people buy that and like, oh, why is my range so bad? As if it's not a brick.
Give me a gas guzzling, hard pumping, fucking motor.
Where's my V24?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I need to emit more emissions.
If
No.
I can't have my rear wheels in my house and have the front wheels in the next state over, I don't want that car, is what I'm saying.
It actually looks like a limo.
It's a limo, is what it is, yeah. Like,
I don't get it. Like, I'm sure there are people that need a car that large. But it's
hypothetical.
0.001% of the population.
Yeah. Like a hypothetical Top Gear scenario. Surprised they haven't done this. Get SUV, no, pickup, make limo. If you don't go with this one, you're losing out, really. This one is a limo.
You just need to take a limo body and put it on that frame. Like, don't need to do anything.
It's like, what? Yeah. America has too much room than they know what to do with.
Like, why make EVs like that? They will get awful range.
Yeah.
They weigh too much to tow anything. And then people will complain.
Mm.
I have no range. Oh, I can't tow anything in it.
Yeah.
You bought a moving boat. Like,
it's shocking.
away 3 tons. And yeah.
Another car that is spawning very soon. In fact, I believe it's got its price at £55,000. The Ioniq 6, which was Hyundai's concept that they made. Yep, there we go. That then ended up being
That's it. The
actual
Streamliner.
car.
Yeah. That for an EV, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's the whole point of it is it's ultra aerodynamic.
I can imagine it would have a lot of range as well. You know? Tell the old darn Putin pickup drivers to buy this. Go on. I'm sure they'd love to.
There's no way anyone fits in the rear seat of that. Actually, no. To be fair, it's fairly long. The roof doesn't start slamming down until you get to the boot.
I kind of don't like it. I don't like this thing. I kind of don't.
The end version looks cool. But
yeah. It looks
if that
like...
has decent range, yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
It looks like if the Civic took a wrong turn while morphing into the newer Civic, is what it looks like.
It's meant to be like Streamliner designed, and I guess it achieves that.
I can't imagine anyone being like, "Yeah, I want that car," though. Like, I don't like.
What's it priced at? Because if it's got good,
55 grand.
For it's meant to be like a mid-luxury sort of car.
Yeah.
For a mid-luxury 4-door saloon, I assume has decent range. I don't see that being too bad. I can see a company buying that for a company car.
It's a
fairly large, decent range.
Yeah, I could see
Not
that.
too expensive. Like, yeah. It makes more sense than the Ram 1500 and F-150. Like,
You know what? I like what this car can mean. Because this car existing, now having a price and everything, means that there is even more of a possible chance that this thing comes to market as like an actual car. The other Hyundai concept, the N-Vision, is that its name? The 74.
N74 Vision.
Yeah.
Who knows what their name is stuff?
I mean, this thing, again, it would probably have the Ioniq 5 effect, where it won't look as cool when it's actually... Is it 6? Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah. It will have the front splitter, the rear splitter, the spoiler, the wide body probably removed as well.
Yeah. I can't imagine...
It'll be sort of like a Charger shape, I imagine, when it's unmodded. But yeah.
What it reminds me of, completely spitballing here, like... Oh, I don't know. It's a lot... Okay, no, it's a lot longer than I thought. I was going to say, like, the older...
it's really sort of DeLorean Charger shaped.
DeLorean is what I was going to say. It was either DeLorean or when I thought it was a lot more squished than it is. I was gonna say one of the old Golfs, but like modernized. But with
It's
how
more DeLorean with the back.
yeah, with it's very cool looking. I mean,
Yeah.
looking at it there, if you just mentally removed, I think the missing spoiler would probably ruin it the most. But like, if you just got rid of the splitter and it just goes down there and got rid of the shot, like it's,
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty cool looking.
I
car
don't imagine it
regardless.
would not have a spoiler completely. It just won't have
Yeah.
like a hill climb wing like it's got at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, what you reckon the wide body would be removed as well?
It'd have to
I
be.
feel like it's a different car with the like it would feel so thin. without
Maybe
wide
not
body.
maybe it won't get removed completely, but it won't have that really aggressive skirting it's got on it with that
Yeah.
weird looking vent on the
Oh,
side.
I guess if they remove the skirt, the wide body would look rather odd anyway. So,
They might be able to smooth it in.
yeah, I assume they'd either smooth it in or maybe just sort of, maybe just have the whole meet in the middle. Have like no wide body, but have the base bit like wider than it
Yeah.
currently is. But I genuinely think if most of it is kept without the race enhancements, I think that's a very cool looking car.
Yeah.
Like from the
If
back. and everything.
Hyundai, because what they've got the Ioniq 5, the
Yeah.
Ioniq 6, and that they will have one of the best car lineups currently
Yeah,
if
like
they can get this out.
yeah, it's a very cool looking car. It doesn't even feel. It feels like it would have remained in the concept stage. Is
Well,
what
yeah,
it
because the
does.
Hyundai has the i20 and the i30, and Hyundai have one of the best car lineups out right now currently.
Yeah. Like it's absolutely chilling. Hyundai's
In the
actually doing
European
stuff.
market before someone American is, oh, my V8s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get V8s over it because we have emissions regulations as well.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, and this is a note to the fact that I have so much more respect for Hyundai than I do for BMW. Not that there was much before anyway. Is the fact that this thing never actually came to market.
That wouldn't be able to come to market though. The front, it would have to be completely redesigned. The front.
Well, like the one that I saw was this, where it was an homage to like one of the
yeah,
old.
it couldn't have that front. Is the
Yeah,
issue.
they'd have to really do it up. But like the fact
Like
that
on the Hummer, you can see where they could remove the splitter and the car would look the same.
Yeah.
On the BMW, the splitter makes the car not look like a 5 Series.
yeah,
It's just you could buy a 5 Series and make it look like that if you had enough time.
yeah. It's a really cool homage, but it's like. It's a lot cooler that that Hyundai actually make concepts that make it to market.
I think Hyundai are using the switch to like electrification as a like, oh, we can
Yeah.
actually make some decent cars. Like
Exactly.
Alexa just decided to light up for some reason.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
It's
they're really using the opportunity, which are not a lot
and
of
they're
cars.
going like they're making cars like the i20 and the i30N as like they're really good hatchbacks. Like they're just decent. Like they're the only company. Like you got the i30N, the i20N, the Golf R, but that's like 60 something grand.
Yeah.
And then who else makes sporty hatches now? No one. You don't even get the
Yeah.
Focus RS. The Fiesta SC's gone.
Yeah, none of them.
The Fabia VRS is gone.
Yep,
Yeah, no, it's Hyundai handling Volkswagen.
yep. But you know what? I think they're hitting it right is what they're doing because they're actually trying
Yeah.
stuff where some EVs will just be the same car. You wouldn't even be able to tell if it was EV
That's
or not.
hydrogen, though. It won't be hydrogen if it comes to market.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, why not? Wait, is hydrogen like a thing that isn't on
When was
market?
the last time you saw a hydrogen fueling station? Unironically.
They have to have their own stations.
Yeah, well, they're usually in petrol stations, but there's like, I think 12 in the UK.
Yeah.
And they've been around for 10 years or so. They ain't making any more anytime soon.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, hey, if it comes to market like EV and genuinely cool looking, that would be a very cool car to see.
I feel like if they did make that to production, it would use the Ioniq 6 platform. They'd take the Ioniq 6 frame, motors, and chassis.
Yeah.
I'd just put that body on top of it.
And it would be absolutely chilling if they did that. The rims look very cool. Like this whole design, this version of it looks
It
very,
wouldn't
very
have
cool
the
as
wheels.
well.
Yeah.
Obviously it wouldn't have it, but this design of it does look very cool.
The fact you could buy one and make it look like that is,
Yeah.
that'd be insane.
Yeah. But is that all the main episode news? I think so. I don't think there's much else. I mean, didn't really mention the Tesla hatchback. It'll probably exist in 50 years and be
they'll
promised
announce it tomorrow,
second.
then it won't show up for another 10. So,
yeah, exactly. They'll announce it, throw some balls at its windows that'll crack it, and then just like forget it ever existed.
When they said it went to cost 23 grand. That one, it maybe 23 US dollars pre-tax in like a high tax state. But yeah, no. It'll be 40 grand minimum in the UK. So,
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's really it. I mean, I guess we didn't talk about the fleet of Volvo. Volvo were trying some. I
don't think it was Volvo. I think I found it. It's not. It was a startup that got given funding by the government to make self-driving. I think.
Yeah, self-driving.
And they just burned the money basically.
Yeah.
And got nothing to show for it.
Which, like, damn, really, like, oh, that's a massive L. But
I mean, at least Volvo does some cars.
yeah, I basically only saved the image and the story for this daunting of an image, which is just an army of self-driving Volvos.
They're just all the most bland Volvo as well, like just grey egg seats or something.
Are they just gonna get scrapped then?
They'll probably get sold.
Yeah. I mean, what, with the rigs? Or, because I mean...
No, they'll probably get sold separately.
Yeah, it depends how much...
They'll probably get put into administration and it'll all get auctioned off.
I mean, how much damage would the rigs have done to the SUV? Because I assume it's not just like a clip off and then it's like, oh, well, good as new.
I assume it's fairly modular for their prototyping.
I suppose, yeah, I guess. I mean,
because you're not going to make a prototype that is all embedded, self-driving.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, self-driving, but like at this point, I'm like,
it was meant to be like a self-driving taxi service. Yeah. Like, so there's no drivers. You just request a car and it shows up and takes you somewhere.
Veritasium did a video on like a town that had those, I swear. And weren't they really bad?
They did push it out to a few places, but yeah, it was awful.
It was like it would stop at a cyclist would be completely off on the pavement, and they'd slam on the brakes.
Well, yeah, that's the issue. They have to be overcautious because if there's one time where it's not and it mows down a pedestrian, they're basically going to bankrupt themselves.
Yeah.
If they have already, but
I mean, it's the whole thing of like So, I mean, there was this one video that I watched so long ago that I remember mentioning it in computer science, this video. But it was a video about traffic and driving and how inefficient it is, because when everyone's at a stoplight and then the stoplight goes green, first car launches, then the guy behind him, then he launches, then the next guy, then the next guy. And it's like, oh, we would save billions of time in travel if every car was synced up and all launched at the same time at the same speed.
Save billions in travel if people didn't buy 8-mile-long SUVs and sit in. Like, if you own an SUV and you're in London, I'm in still, unironically. Like your sole existence is causing traffic.
Yeah.
Just if it's only you in your car, just walk.
Yeah. But, like, with these things, I feel like, what's the point? Because for a taxi service, I guess I get it. But for cars all trying to be self-driving, like...
Imagine you're cycling along a road, right? And this comes up behind you at 60 miles an hour and there's no driver. That'd be frightening.
But, like, every car company, it's a definite certainty that every car company will not just be like, okay, fellas, let's all drop our differences and put all of our cars on one exact code to all drive in unison all the time. That's never gonna happen. So why bother? I mean, even Tesla's autopilots aren't autopilots. They're like resting your arms.
They're driving aids. They're driving aids. Yeah.
They're Forza has better autopilot than real life cars do.
The issue is, to get full self-driving, the amount of technology you would have to would make the cars cost unobtainable amounts of money.
Yep, and they'd have to be...
You'll probably make a self-driving car right now, but it would cost hundreds of thousands of pounds.
It's way too dangerous of a thing as well, because one thing goes wrong, I mean,
takes for one thing to get wrong.
Get sued, doesn't it? Like, it'll be like, I swear they're not even allowed to call it self-driving. I swear.
Yeah, in certain states, and I think the EU want the same.
Yeah.
Because it's not self-driving. It's not.
Self-driving, I think, is a fad that really has out-fadded its fad.
No one else really is developing it apart from Tesla.
And again, it's not even
like these guys went bankrupt. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's really
the technology isn't there.
This, I think, was actually trying to be proper self-driving way too buggy, they've burnt the money. Tesla isn't even self-driving, it's you can rest your arms for a little bit.
And you've got to think, like, if they're struggling in the US with self-driving, with how straight their roads are,
yeah,
imagine it trying to drive through Luton.
Yeah, exactly. Like the
It would
country
have a
roads.
mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
because in my driving instructor's car, it has lane keep assist. You
Yeah.
have to turn it off because it's conditioned to a road that is, I'd assume, American size.
Yep.
But because the car has like this much from either side of the line, and the car has a fit.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, you're too close to the lines. It's like you can't get any further away from the line. Yeah. The roads are too narrow as it is for the cars these days, let alone a big self-driving SUV.
Yeah. I mean, I hope this is the sort of... I mean, I don't think it will be, but, like, it can't be the, like, finally people realizing that self-driving isn't really
No one's
gonna
developing
work,
it.
But, yeah, I mean,
Like,
I guess no one's doing it anyway, yeah.
Hyundai isn't, Vauxhall isn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Volkswagen is. Like, no one cares because they know it's not going to work.
It's just Tesla doing not
It's a
self-driving,
waste of money.
yeah. And,
Yep.
I mean, this finally locks off that side of it. Tesla was doing its goofy self-driving. This finally locks off this type of self-driving, like the real self-driving. Where, so, you know, there you go. I mean, there you go. Well, I guess that is all the news of the week. There was an extra thing, and it was this thing. But, from there, into the old gaming segment of the podcast, and that begins with the Crew 2 Ubisoft Ivory Tower is currently in the Frozen Peaks Summit, with the reward being Nitro Chemist Blue window tint, some parts. Next week sees a exclusive vehicle, the Aston Martin Vulcan, the Duke, unlocked just by getting Platinum with crown-shaped smoke and legendary parts. And then, I believe, 2 weeks after that is the new Season 7. Forza Horizon is in its, I believe, 3rd week of the season. That putting it at, for some reason, it never gets sent anywhere. That puts them at, I have no idea. Do they just don't post it?
They don't post it.
Like, they don't post it. Well, I mean, they're what, Forza Horizon 3 now, I guess, is what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Forza Horizon 3, they are on winter, is the 3rd one of the thing. But yeah, looking at it, they just, I mean, I don't even know how to do that. There's probably like an updates thing somewhere.
There probably is, but...
we're gonna have to hunt that down. Oh, well, you know what? Forza has a thing going on right now. Who knows what it is? But Need for Speed recently got their... customization is the last one that they got, which looks absolutely nuts. It looks insane.
Still has brake to drift.
Yeah, still got brake to drift, very obviously, which looks goofy as hell, but hopefully Unite fixes that. But the customization in this new Need for Speed looks wild. It's truly, oh my god, how have car companies allowed that kind of customization?
EA, man, it's how they've allowed that.
It's baffling. There's a Jeep, or no, was it a Land Rover? And it's dropped with, like, turbos and front, like, mini wings, etc. But that was very cool looking. And the customization will be very fun. I'm still looking forward to getting that game when it comes out. I've stopped doing I still do the streams for them, but I don't do the videos for the updates. But if you want to see Need for Speed content and other racing game content, check out SidWaj. Link will be in the description for more racing games, specifically rather than cars, car culture, news, whatever the whole thing is.
The Crew 2, don't worry.
Ooh, the Crew 2, mostly, but other stuff as well, kind of, if that. But from there on to Motorsports Monday.
The Saturday. I guess I'm late on the Sunday.
the segment exclusively filmed on a Saturday and uploaded on a Sunday. So, yeah. What's up in the world of motorsports this
week? It was F1.
Yeah.
Because nothing is on. But NASCAR doesn't exist in the UK, so I don't even start.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Texas, and they used the Crew 2, but here's your chance music for the intro, which is a banger. That was... Yeah. I wish I was screen recording for it, but yeah, that was top 10 funny moments, but yeah. Russell hit Sainz lap 1, which, I mean, cope moment.
Yeah.
And then only got a 5-second penalty for running his race, because FIA moment.
Yeah.
And the worst strategies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Williams pitted Albon lap 10 from mediums to hards,
Yeah.
and then pitted again on some new hards at like a garbage strat. Like, why they pitted him on lap 10, I have no idea. And then he was in P9 for so long after that. He had a chance to get points that race.
Yeah.
Until Williams just decided to give him an L strategy, and then let's see if he was in last, as the GOAT always is.
Of course.
But he wasn't far off last because Haas decided to cook up a great strategy. Because Magnussen was on, they were both on hards, I think.
Yeah.
And Magnussen went on a really long stretch on the hards, like laps, not really long actually, he went like 20 laps. But they pitted Mick super early for hards again.
Yeah.
But they pitted Magnussen fairly late for mediums. And Magnussen was well behind Mick in, what's it called? Qualifying. And Mick was actually like creating a gap on him in the race. Mick was quicker in that race. But Haas decided to give him the most L strategy known to mankind.
Yeah.
So Magnussen finished like P8, and then Mick finished like all the way down like P16, I think. Because garbage strategy. Like, and they say, like, oh, you got to score points, otherwise you're not the team next season. And then do that to him. So, I mean, a cope moment, I guess.
Yeah.
Stroll, with a really good qualifying of P7, was got up to P3 in the race. And then decides to turn left on Alonso and launch him into the air at 186 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which then Alonso, he get like fully airborne, like I think 3 meters off the ground, and then hits a wall, right?
Jesus.
Still managed to finish P7.
Huh. That's alright.
Like, gets launched into the air at 186 miles an hour, and the car somehow doesn't evaporate into the thin air. And managed to finish P7, which then got taken away because Haas contested that, but then got reinstated because Alpine contested the congestion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, there's the Red Bull $7 million fine, 10% reduction in wind tunnel time.
which
Is all I've got written down after that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, I guess that is all for the podcast. I'll probably put in a segment. I'll probably do it afterwards. I'll just do like a voice thing. But I did want to mention that should be, hopefully, maybe check the channel Wednesday or keep notifications on. I will try and have the first bonus guest episode out for the podcast then, that being Wednesday, hopefully that will be whenever we have a guest. You'll get the main show, and then you'll get a guest episode the Wednesday of that week. We'll see who it is. I don't know yet, but I guess
Minute as always.
There you go. You'll see that on Wednesday. And I'll probably do like a little voice thing. I'll put it just after that intro, if I do make that intro, which I hopefully will. But, yeah. So, that is about it for the Stick Drift podcast. We'll see you boys next week for all things car, news, racing games, and motorsports. That's about it from us, boys. In a
In a bit.